Donald Trump's newly created cryptocurrency surged over the weekend.
He's now worth about $7 billion. Now, Melania also cashing in on the crypto craze.
This was by far one of the craziest and most bizarre weekends I've ever experienced in crypto, at least in recent memory. Right as the weekend got started, out of nowhere, the Trump coin pops up on Twitter and the price went up a whopping 20,000% from its initial launch. From the top, if you look at the highest point to where we are now, it's down just about 50%. And looking at the hourly chart, there was about 20 hours or so, probably less than a day, that you could have really got good prices, because since then you've had the opportunity to buy at these lower levels a couple times. So the window of opportunity was very, very small to get in at a very good price. Now, of course, the price is coming down, and I'm sure people have a lot of opinions on this, but we will see what happens. This is a meme coin, right? It's President Trump's meme coin. So I'm not sure how the market is going to treat it or regard it. I'm sure it's just going to be a speculation vehicle. It's going to pump, it's going to dump. You know, that's just how it goes with memes. Now, I want to stick with this topic for a moment because there are some important things to discuss, a lot of implications for Donald Trump, now officially the United States president. He is now in office, sworn in, inaugurated. Trump's World Liberty Financial, this crypto company that he has been buying up a lot of crypto recently over the past few days. Taking a look at this post from On-Chain Lens, the account on Twitter, On-Chain Lens, showing that World Liberty Financial has purchased $47 million in wrapped Bitcoin, $47 million in Ethereum, $4.7 million in ENA, $4.7 million in Aave, $4.7 million in TRX, $4.7 million in Chainlink. A lot of 4.7s and 4.7s here, and they might be signaling something. 47th president, today, guess, probably. They're just sort of playing with numbers here, which I find interesting. And if you look at the previous post from On-Chain Lens, you can see that they spent $9.4 million and $940K on a couple things. And I'm not sure if 9.4 or 9.4 means anything, right? There's a lot of 4.7s and then 9.4. If you guys have a guess on what 9.4 or 9.4 stands for, comment below and let me know. Now, I'm talking about all of this because the World Liberty Financial is clearly focused on US tokens, United States-based tokens for the most part. A lot of US-based coins in here. CoinGecko today has added a category. If you go to categories, scroll down to Made in USA, you'll see there's a list of coins that are based in the United States. And this list has been growing. More coins have been adding to this list over time. And I'm sure many more coins will be added to this list. Plenty of coins that are US based that are not on this list yet. This morning, Horizon was not in here, but one of my admin in Discord, in my Patreon Discord, they actually requested this get put in here. And it looks like CoinGecko responded. This wasn't here a few hours ago. So you can see that the list is growing by the hour. Right. And so this list will grow. And the point of me mentioning all of this is because US-based cryptos are going to be a narrative in of themselves. Trump is going to make sure that everything America, everything US is first, number one. And so that is something that I think we all really need to start paying attention to, is what coins are in the US, what coins are going to benefit from Trump. And I think Trump is going to very much stick to benefiting all of the US coins rather than coins coming from other countries, right? A lot of people today were upset that Trump didn't mention Bitcoin in the inauguration speech, which I thought was kind of funny, almost foolish, that people thought it was like some sort of guarantee that he was going to talk about it and that if he didn't, it was a problem. You have to remember that Trump is the president of the United States. His first area of interest, his first, the most important things on his list are all things America, the policies, the border, the things that he has set out to change. And so those come first. And also the US dollar is of higher priority to Trump than Bitcoin. As the president of the United States, you guys have to understand that he is going to be acting in accordance to that position. And I've noticed that a lot of people have already been judging the crypto market, since the inauguration, which was 5 hours ago. I mean, Trump has been president for less than 5 hours, and people are already coming to conclusions. Guys, this is a 4-year event. 4 years. He's only been president for 4 hours, and people are already complaining. And it's like, oh boy, come on. This is not a slot machine where Trump becomes president and then all of a sudden everything happens. it's going to take time. Markets take time. Things take time to develop. And so 2025, we have this entire year and then 3 more years after that. So strap in, buckle up. We are going for a ride. Now, Bitcoin on the weekly chart, we can see we have a parabolic trend. I mean, obviously, pretty clear. We've been talking about this for more than a year. And I posted this on Twitter yesterday that the parabolic trend, the trend is your friend. Higher for longer is likely, right? And so we've had a few common waves of enthusiasm, and we are entering what could be the final stage of this trend, not the cycle, the parabolic trend. The cycle peak may not be where the parabola peaks. According to my models, the 40th week after the halving, which is really this upcoming week or this week, the 24th of this month. So in 4 days from now, we hit the timing of what is 40 weeks post halving. And that is usually the area where the crypto market gets most bullish, and it lasts for a total of 40 more weeks. So 80 weeks after the halving is really where the bear market almost every single cycle begins. 80 weeks after the halving, which is October of 2025. So this parabolic trend is starting to go vertical on the larger timescales, and the definition of a parabolic trend actually includes the words unsustainable. So while parabolic trends are amazing, right, and bubbles, right, amazing, parabolic, bubble, people think bubble is a bad word, like a negative word, but bubbles bubble up. That's the point. That's that they go up a lot. The parabola is by definition unsustainable, which means at some point we will hit a peak. The market will sort of hit critical mass for the time being, and there will be a retracement, a large one. But for now, the trend is our friend, and I believe we are going higher for longer. Bitcoin has another major leg up on this parabola. Now, the parabola, as the textbook shows, it's not a guarantee that it has 5 bases or 4 bases in a sell point. There can be 4, 6, 3, 8. Parabolas are not the same every time, so you never know exactly how it's going to play out. But according to the textbook, the next sell point, the major sort of finish for this parabola comes in above where we are, somewhere in between 124 or 140,000 before a major correction, a breakdown of the parabolic trend, which would then probably make us settle up into the summer at a lower level, sort of where we are now, and then run up into the end of the year. That's how I see this playing out, which means Bitcoin can go up another 20 or 40% from here, which is huge for Bitcoin at this market cap. And the altcoins would likely benefit heavily from that type of euphoria in the market. And this can take many, many months to play out, right? It's not going to be next week or something, right? A lot of people don't seem to grasp the amount of time that things take. I want to also mention the new setup that we have, which I've mentioned before, but I want to talk about it again. And that is our technical monthly trap liquidity short squeeze setup. And this is a type of setup that has worked out pretty well in past cycles. And what this setup basically is, I'll just use the example from 2021, is that on the monthly chart here, when you have a major uptrend, a trending market, to confirm a trending market, you want the 20 EMA up at a 45-degree angle or more, the 20 EMA. And so in 2021, what you had was a trending market, major rejection wick that is 45% or more larger than the candle body in a trending market with a break of the wick high. And once the wick high is broken, it confirms the trap. The shorts are considered trapped liquidity at that point. And from wick to wick, the conversion is a 1 to 1.5 in a trending market, which lands you at, you went up to 63,100. And look, the target was perfection into that wick, a perfect target. So, and then if you go to the next zone, which is the 2024 or 2023 run up right after the ETF, when the ETF was approved, we had a huge monthly rejection wick inside of a trending market with a 20 EMA up at a 45-degree angle or more, and the wick was 45% or more larger than the candle body. And once you break the wick high, then the setup is confirmed. It's more valid at that point, only when you break the wick high, and then you measure from wick to wick of that target candle. That's what's considered the target candle because you're using that to measure the target. A 1 to 1.5 lands you up here at 64,700. And that target was hit very nicely. We actually exceeded it and went even higher. So 2 examples here. This one, perfect touch, target right in the wick. This one, perfect target, exceeded it even. Great. So we have a couple examples of this working out in the past. And if you look at where we are and what's going on, well, we have a trending market. The bulls are in control. That is pretty clear. We just touched a new all-time high yesterday. We actually broke that wick high. And what you can see is a trending market with a 20 EMA up at a 45-degree angle or more, with a major rejection wick on the monthly, and currently we actually broke that high already. So the setup is valid now. That sell wall was fractured. It was weakened by yesterday's touch of a new all-time high. And so this setup is actually ongoing currently. And if you measure from that wick high to the bottom of the candle at a 1 to 1.5 conversion, which is what it would be in a trending market, which is what we have, that lands us at right around 134,000. On Kraken, it's 133,942. That is the target of this setup. So I would not be surprised for Bitcoin to play out a multi-month trend, right? This is not going to happen overnight. A lot of times I make these types of calls and people will come back in a week and they'll be like, Kev, I thought we were going to go. It's like, dude, come on. It's a monthly chart. It takes months to play out a single setup. But my idea here is that if this setup does play out, Bitcoin would run up to that price, to that target, maybe in a few months, 2, 3, 4 months. And that would land us around March, April, May, or something like that. A multi-month run up to 133,942. That's what this setup is showing. It's a valid setup in my opinion. It's very possible. End the parabolic trend around that point. Pull back, break the parabolic trend after that, settle up into the summer, and then run into the end of the year. So I do think that this setup here, the one that we're looking at, the parabolic trend, while the estimated target has been 124,000, the middle of this range is 62,000 times 2, right? The price doubles. Times 2, that's 124,000. That's one target. The other target is 133,900, according to the trap liquidity setup. And so my target range is in between 124,000 and 133,900 for the next major parabolic advance. This is the total 3, the crypto market cap, everything excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. And if you look at the total 3 and you compare it to Bitcoin directly, looking at these two setups, the altcoins are generally following the higher caps, especially. They're following Bitcoin's setup here. They're just a little bit behind. But if you look at the Bitcoin halving cycle profit indicator or model that I have on TradingView, which you can look at, it's free to use. The 40th week post halving, 2020 halving, 40 weeks later, this is where the altcoins really start to move. Right around that 40th week. That's when the total 3 broke its all-time high right on the 40-week post-halving mark. And then they went to the moon. If you look where we are, well, we're coming right up on that. Next week, or 4 days from now, actually, is the 40th week post-halving. And so this moment is upon us for the altcoins. Very likely, if Bitcoin continues up, if things go well, the altcoins are likely going to have a huge surge. Of course, people were upset the other day because Trump coin went up and, a lot of the alts didn't go up. They actually dumped because people were selling alts for Trump coin and it was kind of a mess. And yeah, Trump coin is also down right now, sure. But ultimately, the most famous person on the planet and now US president has launched their own crypto asset. That's a really good marketing tool. And as ridiculous as it is that Trump launched a meme coin, it almost legitimizes crypto in a large way as well. And I think it's going to bring a lot of eyeballs. It's going to bring a lot of money flow, a lot of liquidity. A lot of people are going to want to get involved. A lot of people want to sort of support Trump or do what Trump does. And so I think the crypto market is going to get a huge boost from the shockwave that was sent out by the Trump coin launch. Ultimately, it's going to benefit Bitcoin. It's going to benefit altcoins in the end. 5 hours since Trump became president, we got years to go. And so I think we're going to see a lot of stuff unfold. Remember, if you're looking at the charts every day, your perspective is warped because most people don't do that, right? We're all crazy here. We're all crazy. We look at the charts every hour of the day. Most people don't do that. And so sometimes it's a lot easier to be involved in a market when you're not torturing yourself with continuous chart watching. Right? So keep that in mind when you're looking at the charts all day, that your perspective is warped. You're seeing time go by slowly in the market versus somebody that doesn't look at the charts that much. Time goes by faster in the market because they're not staring at the clock. We're staring at the clock all day, so it's a little bit difficult to deal with certain types of market environments, just keep that in mind. And if you guys want more insights onto what I'm doing in the market, well, every single day we do a morning voice chat in my Patreon Discord. And you can get in there by joining Patreon, going into the settings, and connecting your Discord account to Patreon in the apps tab, the connected apps tab. And once you've done that, you'll be loaded into my Discord. You can't get into the Discord without being a Patreon member. So if you guys want to join, be sure to do that today. And I'll see you all in the next video.